Hello, have you ever experienced any type of terrible, horrible customer service that just nearly made your mind blow up? Well, for today's episode, we'll be talking about the importance of customer service, and we have a special guest, Katarina, who will be sharing us her horrible experience with a certain company. So, hello, how are you? Tell us about your experience. Like I saw you before, and you were telling me about what happened. So, tell us what happened.
Well, hello Dante, thank you for having me on
You're
your
welcome.
show.
My pleasure.
Okay, well, I am, just to put it simply, a tech nerd. Okay, I don't really know how to program or do anything amazing, but I love phones. I love my phone. I've had an iPhone now for 5 years. Photography, lots of photography apps, do work on it. You know, it's brilliant, but of course 5 years is a long time. So it was time to upgrade.
Of course, yeah.
And I've been checking out people's phones, trying to decide what phone to get. And the easy solution was to get the new iPhone 6. Simple, you'd say.
Yeah.
But of course, people are talking about the lovely Samsungs.
The Edge especially.
The Edge especially.
Yeah.
And it is a beautiful, beautiful phone. If you don't mind me saying, it's sexy. It is really a sexy phone. So talking, going back and forth, going in and out of the shop for a couple of days in a row, playing with all the phones, I narrowed it back down again to the Samsung Edge and the iPhone 6S.
Surprisingly, we have the Edge here.
Ah, yes.
No, it's amazing. We have the Edge.
It is a beautiful phone.
It is. It looks wonderful, and especially the curved edges and
Stunning.
yeah, it's really, really, as you said, it's a sexy phone.
It is.
I couldn't agree more with you. And
Well,
it's light.
It's light.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Well, I won't show you what phone I've got at the moment. I'll just tell you about.
I wonder what phone you got.
Well, as I said, after a couple of days going in and out, speaking to the public, friends, going into the shop, I narrowed it down to those two phones. And I thought, Kat, don't be boring. Don't just go with what you're used to. The iPhone is too simple.
A lot of people say that.
Well, no, I don't mean simple in that sense. I mean simple as in it's the easy option for
Yeah.
me. And I thought, no, be a devil. Go out there. Get this sexy, gorgeous, Edge. So I did. Very proudly took it home. And I even, jumped the gun a bit and bought a little Samsung tablet. Took both home and started to set them up. Start with the Samsung Edge. Start putting it in, I think it was what language or whatever came up first. And you have to actually press the key.
Yeah.
Well, I pressed the key and it said A. It didn't just say A. It said A. I looked at the Edge. Nothing had registered.
Really?
Nothing.
It's
Nothing
weird.
at all. I know. But of course, everybody said to me, Androids are different. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking, it's me. I'm a nerd. I'm doing something wrong. So I persevered for 4 hours. This stupid phone, this beautiful, sexy phone, kept talking at me. I finally got a couple of letters to register. But it wouldn't just register one letter or two letters, it would repeat it 10 times. And then when I tried to delete backwards, it would either delete nothing or delete the whole line. So I thought, okay, I'll just put that aside and I'll do the Samsung tablet. 3 minutes, set up the whole thing. So easy. And I thought, okay, so it's not me. They're meant to be the same operating system.
Yeah.
It's the phone. So I rung up the shop. They said, come in, we'll have a look at it. That's fine. I just want to stress this was not a Samsung shop. It was a retailer.
Okay.
And they were really lovely. The manager and one of his off-siders, they looked at it and they said, oh, we think it's been put on accessibility mode. Of course, my eyes kind of went, well, accessibility? Accessible to whom? It's not taking any directions. You can't press anything. Nothing's happening. So they tried to crack crack the code, so to speak, get in there. It took them 2.5 hours. They finally turned off the accessibility mode. Really accessible, right? Perfect. So I moved a few things. It seemed to be flowing, and I wasn't convinced. And I said, but that's fine. It's probably just me. I'll take it home now. You've removed this code. I'll do it. So I went home. This is the third day, by the way, now.
Yeah.
Get home, and yes, it's taking directions.
So it's working perfectly now?
No.
Not yet.
I'm able to actually press things,
Yeah.
and it's accepting it. That's not working. It's not working yet, because I have to still set it up. So, the alarm went. Fine.
Did you program the alarm or no?
No, I didn't. But then it went again in 15 seconds. And then in 15 seconds again, Dante. And I would just like to tell you, every 15 seconds, it kept going. I've checked it. There's no message. Well, it's not connected yet to my phone because I still haven't transferred from my old phone. So I put it on silent mode and I'm trying to find it and it's buzzing at me now. And I'm like, ah! So I rang Samsung. I said, oh yes, very interesting, but it's the wrong number. You have to ring Samsung at this number. Not a problem. Ring them up. I explained this to the girl. And she said, oh, I can help you. I'll get into your phone remotely if that's okay with you. And I've had that experience with Microsoft and they were great, fixing my computer. So I had no problems with that. So while we're putting in this accessibility thing for her to get in, and the phone's still vibrating at me, she says, so you don't want any reminders? I'm like, what do you mean? She said, well, that's a reminder or a message for an upgrade. And I said, but it's going every 15 seconds. And yes, I do want reminders, but I don't expect it to go every 15 seconds. And she said, so you don't want any reminders? No, I do. I just don't want it to go every 15 seconds. And she said, so you're saying you don't want any reminders? And I'm like, yeah, fine, okay, just turn it off. Thank you. So she gets in the phone, turns it off. She's gone. That's fine. So I'm happily thinking, okay, I've sorted this out. She must be a little bit wrong.
Was it fine then or not yet?
No, it's not. Well, now I've still got to program it, put in all my
Yeah.
information, get the phone number transferred. And it starts kind of vibrating again. And I'm thinking,
By itself?
By itself.
Okay.
So I ring up Samsung again and I said, da. And they're like, well, she said, we can't take it back. And I said, I haven't asked you to take it back. She said, well, the problem is that the phone is okay and we can't fix anything unless it's been checked by our people and they say that there is a problem with the hardware of the phone. And I said, but there's obviously a problem with the phone. Whether it's be hardware or software, there's a problem.
Of course.
And she said, I'm sorry, that's basically not my department. You have to ring this other number. And by now, I'm getting so annoyed. I'm thinking, I just want to get rid of this phone. So I ring this other number and I go, blah, 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 blah. I tell them everything. And she says, I'm sorry, you're speaking to the wrong person.
Again?
I have to put you through to someone else. Fine. So I get to this other person. Oh, I'm really stressed now. And I said, I just want to return this phone. I just want to return this phone. And she said, well, I'm sorry, we can't return it. You have to, we don't do that unless there is a hardware fault. You have to return it to us. Could take up to 2 weeks. And I said, but I won't have a phone. And she said, well, I'm sorry, that's, the only way it goes. And I said, but there's obviously a fault with the phone. It was ringing at me for every 15 seconds. It had this thing on it, so I couldn't program it. There is a fault with the phone. And she said, I'm sorry, it's only if it's hardware. And I said, don't you understand? There is a problem with the phone. I can't use it. And then the icing on the cake. She said the words I will remember forever.
What did she say?
She said, Dante, she said, we have classes. you could enroll in classes. Well, I did my 360-degree spin with my head. He went, what? You want me to go to classes to use a telephone? I was ropeable. I said, I can get an iPhone. An iPhone, I said. I'm screaming into this phone. I can get an iPhone and I can use it straight away. I can get an old Nokia. I can do anything and I can ring and I can use the phone. And you know what she said? We have classes for people like you. And I'm thinking, I don't think she's listening to me. So I said, okay. I said, I just want to finish this. I want to return the phone. She said, I'm sorry, I'm not authorised to do that. And I said, okay. Very calm.
In peace.
In peace.
Yeah.
I said, could I please speak to the person in charge that can authorise this? And she said, I'm sorry, I can't take the phone back, but you can enrol in classes. And I'm thinking, okay, one more time, in case you didn't hear me. I understand that. I'm not asking you to take the phone back. I would just like to speak to the person in charge. And she said, we have classes.
Again.
And I'm like, ah! And I slammed that phone down. I'm ashamed to say. I screamed and I hung the phone up. So, then I rang the shop. By now, I'm hyperventilating, Dante. I have never had a phone do this to me before. I'm like, I rang the shop and I said, remember me? I went there and you got the accessibility phone off. And this is now a couple of days later. I said, and they said I can go to classes and I can't get the phone to do anything. And the manager said to me, it's all right. Calm down. Just bring the phone back. We'll replace it. You can buy your iPhone. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So off I chuffed the next day with my Samsung all turned back into its factory settings.
Yeah.
Handed it over and I got my iPhone. So, I love it.
The latest model, yeah?
Yes, the iPhone 6S. And do you know what? I can actually use it without going to classes. Thank you, thank you.
Bravo. That's amazing.
It is amazing. Now, the problem with the iPhone, and I'll say there is a little, whether you call it problem, it's a security thing. It won't work without the SIM in it. So I had to order another micro, mini, whatever they're called now, little titty-witchy SIM.
Yeah.
Put it in there, and I thought I didn't want to botch this up. So guess what I did? I rang Apple. They said, of course we can help you. Absolutely. Not a problem. You ask. That's what we're here for. Like, really? So they said, well, we can do things over the phone. You can go to a shop, or what would you like? And I said, oh, okay, I'll go to a shop. It's fine. So off I went, and the guy looked at it and he said, oh, they've got to upgrade, download, put everything up on the cloud and, bring it all down, transfer all the data. He said, but you've got a lot of data on the phone. I'm a big picture taker, so.
How much data for like the internet or like human storage?
Well, in my storage.
How much storage do you get?
Well, on this I've got 64,
Oh,
but
okay.
my phone was jam-packed.
No.
Photos, like thousands of my dog, I can show you later. So they actually wrote everything down. They started off the process, go home, plug it in, do this, and then he said, here's my card, here's my direct number. Call me. If you have a problem, I'll spend as much time as you need. And if you have any other problems, just come in. That's what we're here for. We're here to help you. So, really, the moral of this story, well, there's a few morals, but the main moral is that not being a convert to Apple iPhone, I now am, and not through so much them, but through the opposition. Now, I could be a little bit biased. I mean, my occupation is in hospitality. Hospitality is all about customer service, so maybe I could be a titchy little bit sensitive, but I don't think so. When you call someone for help and you've just spent over $1,000 on a phone,
Yeah.
and they tell you to go to classes. It's really insulting the intelligence of the end consumer or the user. It's just wrong. So okay, now I'm getting all worked up. I'm very happy with my phone.
Inner peace.
But I just inner peace, relax. But seriously, okay, Samsung will never ever have my patronage again, and it's not the product. Yes, that phone was faulty. Well, I say it was faulty. I don't know according to them. But rather than actually listening to my concerns, rather than offering any real help, they read off a script, treated me like I was a complete idiot, and offered absolutely no solution. I mean, the responsible thing would have been to say, come into the shop, we'll have a look at it. If there's a problem, we'll replace it straight away. I would now still have my Samsung. Now, as it is, because of their appalling service, their behaviour, and more than anything, treating me like, well, literally, I felt like I was a 90-year-old granny who could not use a phone without going to classes. I will never, ever, ever use their product again. And I'll tell anyone who wants to listen about it.
So what message could you give to people that come with a similar, experience, like with bad customer service? Like what message could you give to them?
Well,
what should they do?
I reckon what talks is the walk. If you don't get respect and good customer service from whether it be Samsung or your local chicken shop, walk. There are plenty of people out there that want your business, that actually understand that you being there and spending money with them is actually providing their livelihood. They give you a product and they give you service, you spend money with them. If they're not going to give you what you're prepared to pay for, then don't go there. It's as simple as that. Have I ranted enough, Dante?
Nah, that's more than enough. Like Jesus, like I hope our audience will amazed and in shock and learn something from what you said, and thank you for being with us at the show and sharing us with your experience, and we'll hope our audience knows what to do next when something happens to them with terrible customer service.
Oh, absolutely. Just walk. And I don't know, do we have a little bit more time? I want to give you another little story, because maybe my life is like problem phones.
Well, we could have you again for our next episode if that's okay with you.
Have we? Okay.
Yeah, for our next episode, and till now we'll end it with terrible customer service with Samsung, and winner out being Apple, and you having your new iPhone 6s. Well, thank you guys for listening to our episode today, and I hope you learned something and enjoyed it. Till next time, see ya.
See you, and thank you, Dante.
You're welcome.